So you're the thought process of everything, and then you have a team of people that has expertise in what you've thought of, and now have all these things that you are passionate about. Is that the way it goes?
Um, so I'm a contributor.
Got it. I love that, Jason. So tell me more. I see relief on your name. Tell me about relief and then what you're working on now.
So Relief is what I'm working on now. So
Okay,
Relief
that's good.
is Relief is the name of the app that we've launched. That it basically helps people that have fell behind on their bills. Right now, if you fall behind on your bills, you have to pick up the phone, you have to talk to people, you have to answer annoying letters in the mail. So we were like, look, there's an app that can pick you up in any part of the world. There's an app that can deliver you food wherever you are. Why isn't there an app that helps people that have, fell out of banking? Why isn't there an app that, takes the stress out of financial issues
Yeah.
as much as there can be? So we created the first one there is.
Nice. And it's focused around the bills. So, in my mind, what I'm thinking, if I went to the app, I would actually list the companies that I actually have bills with or how much I pay. So, how does that app look? And what are you supposed to put in there in order for it to work better for us or them?
Yeah, so it actually does all that for you. So you put in a little bit of your information, and it pulls all the data from your personal financial life.
Mhm.
And it basically can identify not only who, what bills you owe and who they're with, but it identifies potential workouts that you don't know exist,
Mm.
deals that you can get with each creditor depending on the situation that you're in. It's different for everybody, of course, but the app does it all for you. So you never have to pick up the phone and make any phone calls to deal with the bills that you fall behind on.
And that's crazy. Of course, as I mentioned, my mind is just going to go mad crazy because I know, and this is personal experience, I'm doing better. I've done better. I'm in a better place. However, they say when people call you about your bills or the collector, it literally starts everything all over. So in my mind, I'm like, I would love to have something that's in an app that way that doesn't restart them contacting me and going and again, I guess abusing the fact that I do have a debt. So using that app and being able to negotiate and because I think that's the part people want to do. You don't really want to pay the full price of what you really owe. But with that being said, um, then does it give you alerts and appointments, or how does that keep going and help you in the long run?
Yeah, so for people that are behind on their bills right now, we're currently building new features that expand this, but for right now, it contacts the creditor for you in the back end. It finds out what they would accept, and it breaks down a payment plan that they're willing to accept as well. And that all comes from the creditor itself, whoever owns the debt,
Okay.
without you having to do anything. And then once we get that information and we get that approved from the creditor, we submit that information to the user so they have the dates, where to pay, and so on and so forth. What we're going to be building very soon and we're working on right now is all the alerts when your payments due, certain payment rails so you can actually make a payment through the app and so on and so forth. But right now we wanted to start with the sword of the issue, put a heart, put the dagger right in the heart of the issue, which is, what type of savings can I get right now and what type of payment plan can I get for these bills that have gotten overwhelming. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what the app does right now. But it also, it lets you know you're not alone. There's a lot of loss of dignity when it comes to your finances. As I'm aware too. I fell behind on my bills in my career. I'm an entrepreneur, so I've gotten kicked in the face a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I think the worst feeling of anything is that you're just not a good person, you know? And one of the messages that we are sharing is like, look, you're not a bad person, just because you got into an issue with your bills. As a matter of fact, 1 in 3 Americans have fell behind on a bill right now. Inflation's got all of our finances out of whack.
Yeah.
Why isn't there anything that can help us? And now there is, as far as automated and as far as in an application. But you have to understand, like, if you're going through this problem, like, you're worth more than your credit score.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a cutesy thought. You should have alerts that have positive affirmation towards who they are and what they're doing. That would be super cute.
Interestingly enough, when you said that, that you say that because we built the app to sort of be like a very effective tool, but
Mhm.
also at the same time have this calming, ability. So when you first log onto the app, you see like one of our characters that we've created. Our amazing designers have designed characters that sort of like float in like a yoga pose.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like, because what happens when you fall behind on your bills is everything gets chaotic. The world around you gets crazy. The phone starts ringing, the bills start coming in the mail. Your significant other is probably pissed at you or you're hiding it from them. That's a chaotic world. So you wanted a space that we can create in an app to calm you down. So it's
Absolutely.
sort of like at a precipice of like paying off your bills and getting real solutions with like meditation on top
Mhm.
of that. So you can calm down throughout the process. Because to be honest with you, these things are going to go away.
Yeah.
Life's too short.
Yep. Yep.
This is a fleeting moment. All of it's fleeting moments.
Yep.
That's why we feel so strongly of providing simple tools, because let's get you back to living your best life.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that that phrase is often used very loosely, but living your best life is living worry-free, and knowing that things will get better. My favorite quote is "All will be well, regardless of the outcome." It has to be well. So there
Yeah.
is peace in everything that we do. Also, making sure that that peace isn't surface peace, it's core peace. It's that soulful kind of peace
Yeah.
to where all of these things don't have an effect on what you do in your daily life and that you could keep going. So I love the fact that it has that calming sense to it when you enter it in, because at the end of the day, it is a very stressful thing. So I like that. I have a question for you. What's your why?
my my a big piece of my why is to everything that we're talking about right now
Mhm.
motivates me to make people feel better.
Yeah.
And so one of the leading causes of suicide in our country and throughout the world are financial problems.
Yeah.
One of the leading causes of divorce in our country is due to financial problems. And we don't take those emotions and those situations lightly with what we're working on. I don't take them lightly. Not only do they keep me up at night, motivating me to think of new things to make it better, but it
Mm.
also helps me go to sleep knowing that we are helping people. Right now, since we've launched the app, over 100,000 people have downloaded it, and we're helping thousands and thousands of people navigate these situations. And the why is basic principles to help our fellow humans,
Yeah.
right, live better lives. Like that is why I'm doing this,
Yeah.
because I want, at the end of the day, to my time on this world to be dedicated for something that's bigger than just me, right? And in
Yeah.
what other way that, for me to use my talents, my skills, my network to put towards helping others in their most stressful of times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so interesting, and we're talking about finances and all these things that really just get us down. Very random statement I'm about to make. I had no clue what was going on with eggs, right? Like I had no clue that we were low on eggs and how much they cost or anything like that. It's not because we don't actually eat them. It's the fact of it's a necessity, right? That's something you need. So I say that to say is that we have so many other problems that we can't control, right? We can't
Mm-hmm.
control the prices of eggs. We can't control
Mm-hmm.
anything that's sold in the store if it's a necessity. But in the aspect of what you're building with relief, you can find relief in your debt, right? And it can actually, you can choose to do something at your own pace too, with no one ever knowing. So I love that it's also very private, right? You don't have to contact a credit specialist and tell all of your business and give all. So I love that it's a private thing. It's still probably emotional, but it's something that you could do in your own time, maybe after, meditate after the fact, just to make
Mm-hmm.
the day go better. But where did the name Relief come from?
So actually, one of my partners, I work with the most soulful individuals. Like we've been working on this project, even though we launched 8 months ago, we've been working on it for almost 4 years.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons why we got together and I think our relationship has blossomed is because we put our heart and souls on the table to develop this. And so early on, one of my partners, my thought was that there was a gentleman that committed suicide because of his finances, and I was going to name the app after this gentleman just to keep us on pace. And it you know, that's, even though it sounds great, it's like, well, we wanted to provide simplicity in what this means.
Yes.
And so relief is the feeling that you get when you know something out there is built for you that doesn't exist right now in this space, right? And so, I've had family members come to me, and I've been in and out of the industry for the past almost 25 years. And it's like, even if there's not a solution yet, just to know that you're doing something about it is this sense, it's this light sense, and that sense is relief. And we do a lot of like user focused testing. And early on, like when we first launched the app, we would do these videos, with the permission of the small groups. We wanted to see how the case studies would affect people. And one thing that was consistent with each and every user that came to the app, they would download the app, it would pop up in front of their screen, and you would see them take this deep sigh, and like sort of like this, just let it out, and that sigh was of relief.
Yes.
So it's like the brand itself has its own sort of relevancy to each individual on the node of like that feeling you get when you're like, finally something that's like just what you said. You don't have to pick up the phone. I know this seems like a commercial for it, but like it's not. This is actually like the real, because finances are such a pain in the ass, especially because, not to go on a huge rant right now, but you have a situation where, from an outside perspective, if you're part of the 1% or you live in a bubble, there's a lot of finger pointing. Like, you took out this money, like you should pay it back. Why should you get a deal? And blah blah blah. But what you're not taking into consideration, and inflation has caused everyday bills to quadruple over the past 5 years. Yeah. Which has completely contributed to the overwhelming delinquency. And if you couple that and compound that on top of the fact that when we go to school, we're not taught, using a credit card might seem simple, but it's a very advanced financial instrument. Yes. It has a negative compounding effect, and people don't understand what that is because you're not taught in high school how to use a credit card. It's crazy to me. You're taught how to dissect a frog, right? But you're not taught one of the most fundamental things you will do every day in your life, which is like use plastic to make purchases. And the cause and effect, a lot of people just grow up without this, financial education.
Yes.
And these companies, these big banks, completely take advantage of that, right? Yes. They market to you. And if you, obviously, I'm going on a rant right now, but if you compound that also on top of the fact that, as in America, we like want to keep up with the Joneses and like buy everything. We are a nation full of consumers. This is the salad bowl of pain.
Absolutely.
Right. So like part of what we want to do is like, when you're at your most painful moments because of all of these elements, there's something there that can pull you out. And now that you've gotten out, don't go back,
Yeah. And I think that you made some great points regarding schools not teaching you about credit cards, because they definitely teach you how to apply for college. and with that college comes a debt.
No doubt.
I think it's like at 17 and a half or 18, the mail starts coming in. Hey, get a credit card, get a credit card. And then they go on to college, and debt on top of debt. And you're right. And then it's just the snowball effect. But it's something like this that could actually help out a family, right? So now that I'm thinking on a bigger scale, as you mentioned, kids in middle school and high school and where they'll end up, I would be one of those parents like, hey, check this out. I can't do this today because this is what I'm working on. This is what mom is trying to figure out how to do. And it could be a teaching. It could actually become a family kind of thing. And once the embarrassment and the relief comes out, this is something to now teach our children, and we now have the ability to do that within our homes, and what that looks like and the process that it takes, and not necessarily, like you said, having to use the telephone to do it, but using the telephone to show it. This is what I decided to do. So I'm thinking, Jason, that this is even bigger than you. This is bigger than the team. This could be something that could be so amazing. Maybe the school can start using the app of showing what it looks like to get out of debt or to understand the meanings of these things. So, of course, like I said, I always have these things on my mind, but I'm like, this can go so far. So you have relief, you have, just so many other words that can match that. That'd be like, hey, this is really it. So I love it. I love it. I love it. And I cannot wait to see it grow and do more and probably be everything that I just thought it could be right now. So and you said the app is out already,
Yeah,
right? Okay. Do me
correct.
a
Yeah.
favor, share with the audience where they can get the app at, where they can contact you, and any social media handles you have.
Yeah, the app is available in the App Store, iOS and Google Play Store. Just look up Relief. It's one of the top financial apps right now that's trending in both categories. A lot of people rate us based on what their creditor is doing, but we're not the creditor. We always remind people, like, that's a big thing. It's like, oh, this was a bad deal. It's like, well, it didn't come from us. It came from the creditor, But for most people, we're saving up to 50% on people's total debt. We just saved somebody over 70% of their total debt, which is, we celebrate all these wins. So if you're behind on your bills, just give it a try. It's free to find out what the app can potentially do for you, right? We take a nominal fee that's guaranteed if you get savings. So there's no money exchange unless you benefit from it. So it's in the app. Download it today. If you're going through any type of situation where you want to talk to me personally and get some feedback, I love doing that. I do it all day long. You could find me on Instagram at Jason Saltzman, and I'm on Twitter. It's the reverse. It's at Saltzman Jason, or X, or whatever it's called now. And those are the best ways of getting in touch with me.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.